Okay, let's start. Yeah, hi guys, I'm Mr. Khor. So this video is for those of you who are sitting for STPM Sem 2 next week. Okay, so this video is all about what is important for each and every topic. Okay, so I've attached this in the link below. Okay, this meaning, how did it end up here? Okay, what came out for the past 8 years? What came out for the past 7 to 8 years? This is ulangan, STPM ulangan. There's also the actual paper. Okay, there's also the actual paper. Okay, so we're doing this today. So I'll be attaching this. It'll be one file. So there'll be the actual year and the ulangan from 2013 to 2020, which is last year. Okay, I'll open in, let's say, GoodNotes. I think GoodNotes will be fine. GoodNotes will be fine. The document. All right, okay. This one is here, second one. So I think I'll add. I think I'll add this. Okay, so what we're going to do now is that now it's quite impromptu. So if you are going to, I think this will be around half an hour. So if you find that you want to follow more effectively, I suggest that you print out the analysis handout first. Yeah. Okay. So please print the handout if you want to. All right. Okay. So I've done this analysis with my own students, and one advice that I want to offer you guys, the same as what I told them. Number one is that at this point in time, if next week is your term 2 exam, guys, you should be doing more active revision rather than passive. Active means what? Sir, I don't understand. What do you mean by active passive? So if you're just opening the reference book or your school notes or your tuition notes and reading through, that one is ulang kaji passive, because you're only reading. What you should be doing now is asking yourself whether, for example, can you explain parturition process? Can you explain urea cycle? Can you explain regulation of pH? All these are a little bit tougher. Okay, can you, if you are able to state the points? So first point like this, second point. If you can answer now, next week confirm you're fine. If you can't answer now, that's your weakness. Okay, so advice number 1, passive over active. Okay, number 2, this is very important. Listen carefully. As a STPM student, confirm you have several sources of question. All right. If there's probably, I'm not sure, if there's a book that you haven't attempted yet, or some questions which you haven't tried, if you really want to, you should do it now. Today, instantly, now, guys, now. Don't leave it until one day before your bio paper, then only you try to attempt the questions. Because if you encounter a lot of questions which you can't answer, it will affect your own confidence. And that's the last thing that we want. I was a STPM student myself. Confidence is number 1. Yeah. If you enter the exam hall without that, I think you already lost half the battle. Okay. So these two, active or passive, and don't attempt any complicated questions right before the paper. Okay, let's start. Now, I would suggest you have all your highlighters with you if you have. Normally girls have, but boys, if you're still using that one pencil for everything, up to you. Okay, so guys, I'm going to do it topically. I know if I'm looking at what you're watching now. Okay, it's a bit blurred, but at certain part which is important, I'll just enlarge. Okay, so that's why it's important to have the handout with you. Okay, so guys, let's start. Let's start. Okay, I'm going to use yellow color for chapter 7. So what came out last year for chapter 7? Nothing much. But the previous year, there's oxygen dissociation curve. The previous year, there's oxygen dissociation curve. These 3 structure questions, they sound the same, but actually it's quite different. It's quite different. This is one of the things I'm predicting for your paper next week. Okay, then what else? I think that's it. Oh, there's one more here, sorry. Stomata closing. All right, before I tell you what's important, so I will take note of one ulangan, which is the latest one, 2020. So 2020, if you see here, oxygen dissociation curve already came out. Okay, then again, the stomata the year before. If you really want to, can take one more year ulangan, but normally I take 1 year. Okay, with that, guys, let's start. So, sir, what is important for chapter 7? I think I used something blue at the beginning. Okay, for Bug 7, gaseous exchange. For Bug 7, gaseous exchange, this is not according to importance, but rather subtopic. Guys, transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide is important. Can come out structure, can come out assay. If come out assay, don't be surprised, come out 8 marks. 8 marks, yeah. And as far as structure is concerned, you should have attempted STPM 2009, that structure question. That one is a very good question. Yeah, make sure you have done that. Something like this. It was just here just now. Okay, this one. Something like this. Yeah, something like this, guys. Okay, this is 2009, question 3. Structure question 3. Okay, I actually have all the past year questions from 1990 something. I think 1998. 1998. Up till today's one, 2020. But no point looking so far one. No point. I think 2005 till 2005 also okay. I let my students try 2005 to 2020. Yeah. Okay, so first thing is this, the transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide in blood. Now, number 2, another process, control of breathing. Control of breathing mechanism. Control of breathing mechanism. Okay. As for oxygen, this one is essay. Essay. Okay. Now, as for oxygen dissociation curve, I know comparison between mother and child's hemoglobin is out, but don't forget that there's still another 2 more organisms that live in high altitude, guys, and also myoglobin. Okay, the one in bird muscle, which enable them to fly non-stop. They won't feel muscle fatigue. All right. Okay, then. Okay, and the last one is this. A bit low chance, but possible for structure. They ask you Bohr effect. This one, because structure normally, if you realize, minimum 3 questions. So if they want to, they can ask you about alveolus as well as hemoglobin. Okay, so that's for chapter 7. That's for what's important for chapter 7. You can read through the stomata one round if you want to. Potassium ion accumulation hypothesis, quite simple. Okay. Okay, so that's for chapter 7, guys. Moving on to chapter 8. I'm going to use another color highlighter. Let's say red on a bit. So transpirational pool. Okay, chapter 8. Okay, all right. Now, chapter 8, transpirational pool came out last year, and also pressure flow hypothesis, control of heart rhythm. This is supposed to be it, sorry. This is supposed to be it. Then here, high cholesterol, cohesion, tension, guys. Atherosclerosis, 2013, this one. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, this one is the interstitial fluid. Cholesterol came out, apoplast. Yeah, I think that's it. Now this one, cohesion tension theory. But still can ask, because this was 2 years ago, more than 2 years ago. This is 2018, guys, 2018. So I'll move on to the repeat. The repeat last year, what came out? The 3 water pathway. You can also take note changes in pressure and volume for the heart. Okay, so with that, let's use another color. I think something lighter, this one, something lighter. Okay, guys, bab 8, transport. Okay, chapter 8 here. Okay, chapter 8 here, guys. First and foremost, I'm going to divide this into 2 parts. The first part is human, animals. The first part is animals. Okay, for animals here, guys, including human, cardiac cycle. Cardiac cycle, they can ask you in terms of structure. As I just mentioned, structure normally 3 to 4 questions. They can also ask you the heart pumping mechanism. Structure, they can ask you 3 marks. They can ask you 3 marks. Okay, this is one way of looking at it. This is one structure. Guys, this is considered one structure. Okay, this is considered one structure. If not, they can ask you this way. They can ask you this way. This one and cardiovascular disease. This is one way of asking structure. If not, they can ask you essay this method. This, they ask you essay along with the same thing. Yeah, how to point? I point like that. Cardio. Okay. Means, guys, they either ask you cardiac cycle, cardio disease, cardiac cycle, pumping of heart, or these 2 together. If these 2 together should be an essay lah. Should be an essay. So you have to prepare for whichever way they ask. Okay, next, moving on, low chance of, okay, a bit low chance to come out, but still possible. Slightly lower chance, but still possible. Lymphatic system. Lymphatic system, guys, they can ask you the structure, they can ask you formation, interstitial fluid, they can ask you the function, and they relate to chapter 12, immunity. I can write here. They can ask you 12, link to 12, immunity. Because if you remember, it's highly linked, highly related. Okay, so this is for animals. Okay, as for plants, plants, I want to divide it this way. In terms of water transportation, they haven't asked root pressure. They haven't asked root pressure. But last year they asked transpirational pool. They still can ask this, cohesion tension. They still can ask cohesion tension. Okay, cohesion tension. Cohesion tension theory. Now, as for translocation, meaning transportation of organic substances, translocation, because pressure flow already came out, they can ask the other three. The other three is what? Electro-osmosis. They can ask the cytoplasmic streaming peristaltic wave, these three. All right, so that's basically what's important for chapter 8. Now, guys, I just want to stress one thing. These are the more important things, meaning you focus on this. When you have excess time, only you read the rest. I'm not asking you to read this and completely forgo. No, because at the end of the day, you will realize every year got 5 to 6 topics at least. So there's no such thing as a topic you can forgo. Okay. Okay, chapter 8. Okay, let's look at chapter 8. Let me double check. Because I actually wrote on my one of the slides earlier. Okay, yeah, sorry, one more thing. This one here, you have to study the processes as well as the drawback. Because I'm sure your teacher told you, they are still not accepted because each and every one got their drawback. Yeah. For example, they say that like some need energy, right? It's normally these two, bidirectional and energy. So that when you go and study, because different process, they have different drawback. Why it's not accepted? Why it's not accepted? Okay, next. What's this? Wait, sorry. Let me check this one first with this. Oh, okay. Right. Okay, guys. Chapter 9. I'm going to use another color. Chapter 9. Let's say I use orange, blue. Okay, blue. Chapter 9, phytochrome action. Then the 3 factors that affect action potential. Okay. Okay. Sorry, move on to this one. Okay, now, so last year, what came out for Bug 9 is acidosis, resting potential the year before, transmission of impulse neuromuscular junction, hormone, acidosis, auxin, the long day plan, short day plan, auxin, cytokinin. And by the way, sorry, I need to bring you back to 2020. This one. Oh, guys, this one is tricky. Tree plant growth regulator. I remember after the exam last year, there were students who messaged me. So what are they talking about? Hey, guys, hormone. Hormone. So the tree plant growth regulator, you can talk about auxin, gibberellin, ethylene. Okay. synapse. Potential difference. Potential difference. Okay. Okay, guys, now next. Oops, this one. Okay, I'm going to use something bright lah. Okay, so guys, chapter 9. Check. Okay, guys, chapter 9, they can ask you. Chapter 9, they can, because it's a long topic, control and regulation. Chapter 9, first of all, they can ask you formation, action, potential. Because so far they asked resting potential. Formation of action potential. Okay, formation of action potential. If structure, they will relate to characteristics of nerve impulse, and also same thing, the factors that affect the transmission. Okay, the diameter lah, myelin sheath lah, okay. If structure, if essay easy lah, 7-8 marks. Okay, synapse can be structure, can be essay. Can be structure, can be essay. Then we also have, okay, speaking about synapse, guys, speaking about synapse, in my own notes, I actually have one page whereby following the syllabus, they want students to compare synapse and transmission of impulse along an axon. Okay, compare synapse and transmission of impulse along the axon. Comparison. Okay. Oh, sliding filament theory, they haven't asked, I think, nearly at all. Wait, let me double check. I think haven't at all. Yeah, sliding filament, guys. Sliding filament. Quite important. About high time already lah. About high time. Sliding filament theory. Okay, compare parasympathetic as well as sympathetic nervous system. Okay, cocaine. Because they asked curare, but curare was 2 years back. Curare was a while. You still need to go through lah. Cocaine and curare still can ask. Wait, sorry. Let me double check. No, don't have. Okay, curare and cocaine. Curare and cocaine. And last one, I'm going to change another color. What I just did with you is basically the animals. Processes related to animals. As far as plants are concerned, okay, guys, plants are two things. Plant hormone, sorry. Not plants first. Steroid, non-steroid. Okay, hormone. Let me put it this way. Hormone, you need to know steroid, non-steroid mechanism. And then plant hormones, a bit low chance, but just go through lah. A bit low chance, this one. A bit low chance. Okay. Yeah, plants quite low chance. And because the phytochrome came out last year, long day plant, short day plant, it came out this part. If you look at your repeat, Now here, phytochrome action. And then if you look at the year before actual paper, no, few years back, this one. Short day plan, long day plan. So just read through one time lah. Read through one time. I think that's about it for this one. Transmission along the axon. Okay, if you want to, guys, because they haven't really asked ABA and cytokinin. You can. I suggest you read through one time, taking note of ABA and cytokinin. Cytokinin for cell division. Okay, moving on to chapter 10. I need to erase the beginning part. So chapter 10, okay, new color. Chapter 10, what color? Pink, yeah, pink. Darker pink. Okay, can I? Okay, chapter 10, growth pattern came out last year, actual. Flowering, non-flowering plants. Then this one is the hormones in pregnancy. That one's still important. For every year, it's important. You must know when anytime can come out. Now, hormones in pregnancy, can you see or not? But it wasn't repeated the year after. Growth pattern, embryonic development for the seed, lactation, growth, hormonal regulation. This is wrong topic. This is wrong topic. Okay. Okay, how about that one? Growth curve, menstrual cycle, but still can ask one. Again, still can ask. Okay, guys, I'm going to erase. See all my hard work gone. October time passed very fast. October time passed super fast. Jadi, some students were asking, so after STPM, term 2, what's next? I say term 3 tuition. Straight away start term 3. Okay, the week itself, next week itself. Okay, now chapter 10. Chapter 10, orange lah, bright orange. Orange. Okay, so chapter 10. Now, chapter 10, I need to say this. I assume you all are familiar with oogenesis and spermatogenesis. Okay, like it, don't like it. Like it, don't like it. Menstrual cycle, pregnancy, and parturition. The three, the few stages. The hormones is a must know. Whether came out before or not is the foundation of the topic for human. Okay, first thing. Second thing, roles. Roles of the placenta, roles of the chorion, roles of amnion, roles of amniotic fluid, allantois have to be 一清二楚, very clear, have to be very clear. Okay. All right. So this for the human. As for plants, okay, something, so many color, guys. So many color. Back to something purple. Okay, as for plants, double fertilization need to get to know. They haven't asked. but in a way, some might view it as a SPM process, similar to oogenesis, spermatogenesis. But guys, be careful, just be careful. Okay, embryonic development. Okay, all right, one more first. Mobilization of nutrient. What's your first point? Mobilization of nutrient. Imbibition. Okay, imbibition, meaning water intake, then gibberellin synthesis, then diffuse into alluron layer. All right. Okay, so what is embryonic development here? Double fertilization, how do we end? We end with this one is an endospermic nucleus. Then here we have a zygote. All right, so zygote form basal cell, terminal cell. Okay, basal cell form suspensor. All right, then that one form the embryo. Endospermic nucleus form endosperm. It acts as a food store. Then talk about outer integument form testa, inner integument tegment, all those stuff. All those stuff. Then ovary become the fruit. Then you study about the pericarp. The sentences are short, so they're quite memorable, quite easy to remember. So guys, that's all for chapter 10. Long topic, but oh yeah, growth curve, please go through, just in case. Something green. Just scan through one time. Just scan through one time. Acidisis and metamorphosis, I don't really think they can ask. Yours? Because actually this is bab 10. Why is it here? This is 10. This 10. This is bab 10. Yeah, this okay. So this is for bab 10, guys. This is for bab 10. Oh, sorry, one more thing. This one, this one. Okay, okay. Okay, they can ask the factors affecting germination. Okay, so guys, these are the things you should focus on for 10 first. Okay. Okay, let's look at 11, guys. 11. Homeostasis. Liver is the main highlight for 11. Always. Liver is always the main highlight. So I go for green. Okay, a sinus, urine formation, body temperature, osmotic regulation, liver again, stomata. Chapter 11. Okay, chapter 11. Two 2015 don't have. Liver. So liver quite thorough the number of times they ask. Liver. So you read through one time enough. Okay, your focus should be okay, bab 11. Your focus should be temperature regulation. Endotherm. Not very high chance. It's not a bit low chance, but scan through. Now, If they want to ask liver, you can't say that they can't ask any more, because if you check the questions that they ask, the handout, they haven't really touched on the structure. Because why? If you check, they ask the function mostly related to protein. So maybe you can study those, you focus on those non-protein ones. Yeah. So is it possible? Okay, at this point in time, maybe some of you might be wondering, sir, is it possible last year's one repeat now? A few percent, yes. A few percent, 5% maybe. 5% maybe. Yeah. But even if you don't read last year's one, you are 90% safe lah. Let's put it that way. Even if come out, they'll switch this way: essay to structure, structure to essay. They will terbalik the thing. They'll terbalik. Okay. So for homeostasis, these two is quite all right lah. Okay. Now next, another color. As for osmoregulation, pH is important. pH, three things pH regulation, urine formation, then after that ADH and aldosterone. Because there's a special subtopic for this, but I think ADH is fine. ADH is fine, but aldosterone, the angiotensin, you must make sure you know that, the extra stuff. Okay. And adaptation of hydrophyte and halophyte. Hydrophyte, halophyte. Let's see. Okay, wait. Okay, all right, should be fine. Okay, guys, next. As for chapter 12, let's look at this one first. Immunity. I want to choose something purple lah, no? Something purple. Okay, so as for chapter 12, antibody here. Okay. Don't have. Okay, no need to look. No need to look. Humoral and cell mediated lah. Humoral and cell mediated is a must. Something bright. Okay, but 12 is always a must, quite high chance. Humoral as well as cell mediated. Okay, essay lah, essay, mostly essay. Mostly essay. Then, okay, if they want to ask you structure, they can ask you lymphatic system. Lymphatic system along with antibodies. Along with antibodies. And if they want to ask you application, it's SLE. SLE. Okay, last but not least, guys, Mark 13. You have to read through all. Let me tell you why. All came out before already. All came out before already. So If I use a pen, I use what pen? This is where things get tough. Blue pen, dark blue pen. Okay, so let's say if I use a dark blue pen, you see, bug 13, malaria came out. So I think malaria may be lesser chance, but the other three can ask. What are the other three? It's all here. Dengue, cholera. Where's the floor? Tuberculosis. Here malaria. Where is the tuberculosis? Come on. Here. Here, tuberculosis. Okay. Tuberculosis. So basically, out of these 4, malaria came out twice. Malaria came out twice. So dengue, cholera, and tuberculosis. Dengue, tuberculosis, malaria, what's the other one? Dengue, tuberculosis, cholera. Malaria just read through one time, low chance. And don't forget definition of infectious disease. Definition of infectious disease. Okay. Yeah, let me check whether I missed out anything. Yeah, okay. This one, okay, I think it's quite thorough already. Okay, ornithine cycle. Yeah, just came to mind. Ornithine cycle is this. Why so you didn't talk about ornithine cycle? Because this is ornithine cycle. This is ornithine cycle. Sorry. You can scan through one time, guys. You can scan through one time. Okay. So what I want you to do is this. You can do whatever style of revision you want to, but this is consider it an add-on. Consider it an add-on. You probably want to. Okay, guys. What you can do is this. You probably want to do this. You use this as your checkbox. You use all this as your checkbox. Can you explain the potential difference? Can you explain the potential difference between across the axon membrane? Okay, if you can, then okay lah, done. Okay, antibodies. How many types are there? Immunoglobulin. Yeah, 4 types, 5 types. All right. Then can you explain humoral and cell-mediated? Ask yourself more questions. Just now, at the start, I talked about active-passive. Okay, this one done. Can you explain the development of atherosclerosis, myocardial infarction, 9 marks? So you test yourself one by one. As you go, you cancel. As you go, you cancel. So this is a good way to revise. So this is why I also gave you the repeated ones. Yeah, the repeated ones are a little bit easier lah. If you know the questions very well, the questions are a little bit easier, but it doesn't concern you. You're not repeating, mah. Okay, so can you explain cholera? All right, can you explain action potential generation? Can you explain how light intensity affect ball effect? Then after that, homeostasis, the 3 importances. So do your revision from this by using this method. All right, and last but not least, guys, say one more thing. I think that's about it. That's about it. I think that's about it. Okay lah. All right. So once you have finished once you have finished testing yourself box by box, then only you read through all these again. You read through all these one time, and the rest later. The rest later. Okay. So guys, I hope this helps you more or less lah. I hope this helps you more or less. Okay. I think that's all from me lah. That's all from me. Feels like I got one more thing. Hey. Feels like I got one more thing. That's it, Didi. That's it, Didi. Oh, I know, Didi. Okay, I know what to say, Didi. Hey, boy, wait. Sorry, my dog is this. Hey, hush, boy. Next week, just go all out. Now, most of I think 80% of STPM students are never ready. 80%, at least 70%, 70 to 80% of STPM students are generally not ready. Meaning you feel mentally you're not ready to sit for the exam. I have had a lot of, every year I have at least a straight A student for STPM. And every year I make it a point to talk to them. I talk to them, I relay their message to my students. And I think I don't want to mention name. One of my ex-student who is currently in NTU, she I tell you is crazy. She was just a normal student. Of course, she got straight A like SPM. Then she went on to STPM. She got straight A's. She entered NTU. She got ASEAN scholarship. Oh, I tell you guys, it has been a uphill journey from there on. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, the advice is this. She said one thing She said, "Sir, what really motivated me? What really motivated me was the fact that I do not want to retake. I do not want to retake. So I really go all out during my exam." Okay, how does this apply to you? Very simple, guys. Just same thing for you guys, you go all out in a sense, maybe there's a high chance you retake lesser by 1 or 2 subjects. Or even you retake less 1 subject, also you should be very happy with. Yeah. From my teaching experience, term 1 results is like shit one. Yeah. Especially the past 2 years. I don't know why. Term 1 results like shit, term 2 tougher, but students score better. Students score better. Okay, so with that in mind, guys, that's all from me today. Yeah, I really hope this helps you out more or less. Okay, guys, cheers, take care, good luck. Good luck next week. Bye-bye.